Hello everyone. Hello, good evening. Hopefully y'all can see. Y'all can see us because our screen over here is black. So I'm hoping you all can see. Hey Terrence. Okay, it's better now. Good evening to everyone that has joined us till Death Do Us Part. This is our second show of this season, the second episode. Hey Lori Green, how you doing today? On time. Yes, you are on time, girl. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right. Hopefully we get a few more viewers to chime in, then we'll go ahead and start the show. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend and you're trying to stay cool out here because it's really hot and humid outside. So hopefully everybody's staying hydrated and trying to stay as cool as possible. Good evening, Elder Lawrence. How are you today? God bless you. You and Tasha. Hope all is well. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're just gonna wait for a few more viewers, you guys, and then we'll go ahead and start with the show. My screen just keeps blacking out. I don't know for what reason, but keeps blacking out. But as long as you guys can see us okay, then that is fine with me. How many of y'all watched Power last night? Power. I don't know if y'all went to update y'all Star subscription on y'all DirecTV, but I watched it last night and it didn't really do as what I thought it was going to be, being the first show of that season.
Good evening, everyone. How are y'all on today? Excuse me for being a little bit late. Our screen is dark. We're gonna need that to change because I definitely need to interact with you guys. I want to hear what you guys are saying in response to the conversation. So we're gonna try to handle these technical difficulties real quick. Let me grab my iPad and see if I can pull it up on here. We just did a test run and everything was great, but it's all good. We're gonna pray real quick before we move forward. Dear God, we thank you for allowing us to be here once again, oh God. We thank you for the people who tuned in. We thank you for allowing us to be back yet another season. We thank you for so far 16 shows, successful shows, oh God. We ask that during this show, oh God, that we would bring light to certain situations, oh God, and that we would speak volumes to people and places, and that we would learn from people that's viewing all across the world, oh God. We ask even now that you would come in the midst of our atmosphere so that we can set the atmosphere across the airwaves, and you would allow all technical difficulties to come under subjection to your power, oh God. And we ask that even now, and we pray that someone live may be changed and touched through what we have to say on today's show. In Jesus' name we pray and we ask, amen. I'm so over trying to deal with these technical difficulties until I will grab my phone and sit it in front of me. That's how real it's about to get. I hope we don't have to do that, but it doesn't matter. The show will go on. Not must go on, but the show will go on.
All right.
Okay, so we are back once again. So we already started. We're gonna go right into it.
Hey Sabrina. Who else?
Yeah, we know y'all could have probably see us. We just could not see.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you, girl.
We could not see y'all. I want to see what y'all gonna say.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna step away real quick. Y'all can continue to talk with her. Give them a brief description of what today's show is gonna be about. And I'll give them the topic. Topic is happiness a choice? So we're gonna go on into that. But You go ahead. I'll be right back, guys.
All right, so y'all know, like during the course of our shows Till Death Do Us Part, we talk a lot about, you know, the mind and the heart and things like that, and the distinguishment between the two. And so we wanted to know today, and pose a question, you know, is happiness a choice? Do you feel that happiness is a choice? Is it something that, you know, is put upon you? Is it something that you can choose to do or not to do? I mean, if you think that happiness is a choice, why do you say that it is? And, you know, what brings you to that conclusion if happiness is a choice? And have you had to make a choice to choose happiness in a situation? So let's get your feedback on, do you feel that happiness is a choice?
Back.
Hey, Ariel. Thank you for joining in, hon.
Hey, beautiful. Okay, we are back. I'm back like I never left. Let me go ahead and dive right into it. You want to give your opinion on whether or not is happiness a choice? Or I want to speak real quick. I want to say something real quick. And the reason why is because I want to kind of give your testimony about happiness and being a choice. As everybody know, I haven't always been the great, perfect, stand-up, good guy that I am today. I haven't always been that, right? So, and she has been with me pretty much over half of my life, pretty much. And she knew me for sure over half of my life. So it was a lot of things and a lot of areas that she had to choose to gain control over and gain power over, so to speak. And one of those areas was happiness. You know what I mean? Because there were times, several times and multiple times in a season in which I know I was not doing things to make her happy. However, she still was able to remain happy, and I had nothing to do with it. I gotta be honest. I had nothing to do with it. So from that standpoint, I want to ask you, for some of the women out there who are connected to guys or who may be looking for other guys to make them happy. How was it you being in a marriage with a guy that was not doing things for a season to make you happy, but yet you were still able to make yourself happy and to continue to progress and do the things that you needed to do as a woman in order to sustain that happiness?
Okay, well, for me, I want to say that was something that I had to learn, because it wasn't something that I was taught. You know, I guess was raised where your environment kind of dictated how you felt, and your environment kind of cultivated the way that your thought process and the way that you, you know, your pattern of thinking and stuff like that. And so I had to learn how to choose happiness. And so just because my situation dictated to me that I should be unhappy based on the situation, in order for me to live and to thrive, I had to choose something that was beyond my situation. And so in that, and I think I learned that from you. I definitely learned that from you. Just not allowing the situation that I'm in to determine my outcome, because I can be beyond that.
Let me pause right there for a second, because I was just sitting here as I was sharing with y'all, you know, how I know she had to create that happy space. I was just sitting here saying, man, wait a minute. That's crazy. And this is how you know when God is operating in situations. Because here I was, somebody who she was relying on to make her happy. And here I was, somebody who vowed to do that. But in the season of our life, I was not doing so. However, yet and still, I was still able to be the one that taught her how to make herself happy and not to rely on outside stuff. That's deep right there. And as soon as I finished saying that, and I went to take a step back and allow her to speak, it came to me and was like, wait a minute, you taught her how to make herself happy and not to rely on other people. And I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to, because if it comes from out of her mouth without anybody having to tell her to say so, it seems more genuine and pure. So I just want to thank you, honey, for acknowledging the fact that your boy taught you something.
He did, you know, and he did, and that's the good thing about having someone like that's kind of straightforward, you know. Like with David, he always pretty much instilled in our relationship and even in our children that never allow your situation to change the way you think about you. That's you right. know, and so you allow you to change your situation, whether that be put yourself in a new situation or remove some of the things that are causing discourse or bad energy in your circle. And so I think putting those pieces together and then, you know, finding myself in my situation allowed me to come up above it, you know, and work through it. So Lori had a good
We love you too, Ariel. Lori says, I love this topic. Yes, yes, yes. Happiness is freedom from freedom for self, and self-love is super important.
Yeah,
that's
so
very
true.
key. That's very key.
Yeah.
What Shanine said, being happy is a state of being, and most times it comes from within. God, I would say.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What's up, Mr. Gilliam? A lot of people. I got a lot of first-time viewers today. Thank you, first-time viewers, for tuning in. Trust me, you're gonna love it, and continue to watch.
Yeah.
Inbox. Give us some ideas for topics. Tell us how it blessed you and stuff like that. We need some encouraging words sometime. Where we at? I guess that's it.
Lauren, she said, love yourself. Self-love is
Self-love is super important.
Yeah.
Yes. Self-love is important because if you don't love yourself, then you're not really going to expect for good things to come to you. Therefore, you're not going to even expect to be happy. One thing, like my wife said, is like you have to create whatever you deem to be happiness, and you have to choose to be happy throughout the course of the day. And this is something that I'm really starting to see now in all of my 21 years of living. I'm really starting to see that that it's very important that you guard your happy space by any means necessary. Because if you don't do that, it is very hard to be enthusiastic about life, about positive things, about things that you need moving forward, about things that's going to help you get ahead. It is very hard to do that when you're not happy. So this is why you got to guard that space, and why you can't allow your happiness to come from any place other than within. Because when you do that, then you give your power to move forward, your power to overcome, your power to be ambitious, your power to be optimistic. You give that over to somebody else. But when you say, you know what, even if my wife ain't acting the way I want her to, I'm not going to allow it to interfere with my happiness. And it takes practice. However, it takes a practice that you want to do, because it's a choice. Like I said, throughout the course of my day, things has happened that before I actually had this encounter or this epiphany on how easy it is to control your happy space, when these things would have happened, I would have instantly allow it to make me upset, or allow it to make me get out of character, which would pile on more unhappiness on top of the very unhappy act that came to steal it. But I said, you know what? I'm not going to allow that to happen. Because if I do that, then I become a slave. It's not that I lost my happiness to what happened. It's that I gave my happiness over to what happened. So I gave my happiness away, when I could have just simply made the conscious decision to say, you know what? No, I'm going to keep my happiness. So even though you didn't do what I expected you to do at this particular time, I'm not going to let it get me upset. I'm going to keep my happiness and stay in my state of being and my state of mind of being happy. And go ahead, you want to finish?
I just want to give an example. Like, I mean, I don't know how many of you all have gone to like a fast food restaurant or something, go through the drive-through, and the person just have like the nastiest attitude, and you be like, man, shoot, like, you know, well, if you don't like your job, then quit, you know. And a lot of times, if we allow our situations to create a bad atmosphere for us and take our happiness away, that can spill into people we come into contact with, innocent people who have nothing to do with our situation. And so that's why, another reason why, if we want to be effective in life, period, we need to be able to guard our happy space so that it won't spill onto others, you know, that negative energy and stuff like that. So that's important too.
Right. Quick, short, transparent testimony. I'm normally the late one, guys. I really am. I'm normally the late one. And I'm normally the one that everything be out of. So she already know what to talk about her. Everything, you know, I always have stuff out of place and all of that. She's always the one that gets stuff, you know, in place for me and everything. Well, anyways, today she did not do that. And why she didn't do it is because she was trying to do everything else except deal with the stuff that she know we need to have done on Monday. So I had two choices to make. I could have either said, you know what, I'm not going to let that make me unhappy. I'm going to, you know, I'm not even trying to figure out why it happened or none of that. I'm going to stay in my happy place because I want the show to continue to go on and us really actually put into practice the things that we're preaching. So, and by doing so, another problem was created. Something that never happened before. Our screen went black. So this is just how it shows you how negative energy and what some would recognize as the devil or the enemy himself, negative energy would cause you to get out of character. But if you decide to fight against it, it has to flee. But it's going to come back again in another form. And that other form it came back in was the screen went black. Now that could have been something else that could have made me get out of my happy place and shoot off. Especially after I fought so hard to not go out of my happy place from the previous thing that happened. But I overcame it and expected and anticipated something else was going to happen. So it's like now it becomes a challenge for me to where I want to have to fight to stay in my happy place. So that way when I need it most, I don't have to worry about me getting outside of it. And because of that, I was able to relax her. I was able to even make her day become more happier just in case she couldn't fight to stay in a happy place. And when you got, especially when you with someone, or if you're in relationship, whether it be business, whether it be a personal relationship with your kids, relationship with your spouse, girlfriend, whatever, if you can control your happy space as much as you can and really perfect it, then you can also allow other people to enter into a happy space just because you kept yours grounded. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's so important. It's so important that we know we be mindful of the energy we're carrying around because, I know it's a book called, I think, Laws of Attraction, but the energy you put out, like 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to be attracted to you. And so if you're negative, and you wonder why all this bad stuff always keep happening to me, it's because you are the magnet, right. And you are attracting everything that is just like you. And so that's why it's so important that we do self-inventory and we choose happiness, over anger and over everything that is contrary to being happy, because then we won't have to reap those things that are anti-happy.
That's right. I remember a couple of times, and I even said this quote. A lot of people like to say, the difference between happiness and the difference between joy is because joy and happiness deals with what's happening. So something has to be happening in order for you to be happy, or whatever the case may be. And I found that not to be true. And it also says that joy is something that regardless of what's happening, you still going to feel joyous or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, that's somewhat true to the intent that I believe that joy is like the difference between a fact and an opinion. Joy is something that if you have joy, like nobody can take that away from you. I believe that joy is involuntary. You know what I mean? Joy deals with the nature and the state and the being of a person. But happiness is something that you have to pursue. Like the movie and the amendment says, you have to pursue happiness. You know what I mean? Because happiness is not something that's just going to come to you. Happiness is something that you have to fight and you have to demand that this is what I am going to do. Today, I am going to be happy. And you have to literally speak to yourself and say, you know what? I woke up this morning, I went outside, I was already running late for work, and then my tire was flat. But guess what? Yeah. It's worse things than that in this world. And I will not allow that to dictate the direction in which my day go to. And that's choosing happiness. And that's taking happiness. Because an act happened that gave you justification to be unhappy, but you took happiness from the situation and said, you know what? It is what it is. You ever had something happen and it was so unreal to where, and it was so like obvious that this thing was coming to steal your happiness that you literally had to laugh sarcastically, like it was really that bad until it was that funny to where it's like, you know what? I already recognize what this is. I'm not going to even let it get to me. Those are the times when you really have to choose happiness.
Yeah, I totally agree. Real quick, if you all would take a few seconds and go share this video on your page, put a comment on top of it, ask your friends, tag your friends so they can come in and watch, because we want to make sure that we get as many viewers, in our circles to choose happiness, because there's no need for us to be choosing happiness and then the people that we deal with every day are not choosing happiness, and so then we're just in a vicious cycle, If you all please would share this video real quick, tag your friends.
Yeah, tag your friends, guys. They don't have to be my friend in order to watch. These videos are public, so tag them. comment their names in it, all of that stuff. We really want to get this out. And like I said, a couple of times I had to check myself. We don't do this for views, guys. Yeah. We don't do this for views, because when this go off, we still doing this. Like, we do this when the cameras are not on. When this goes off, we're still doing it. So we really do this because we really want the people that we come in contact with every day, social media, what have you. We really want to learn from them, and we also want to share what it is that we know, so that we as a whole could be a better people. So we as a whole could be a better people. So share this to everybody. Share this to everybody. Lori says, yes, I have to tell myself, don't you let the devil steal your joy. Someone told me the other day I was too nice. I don't know who told you that. They must be don't know the Lori I know now. Let me stop. All I could think was, that's because you know the new me. Right. See? But some people know the older me. See, she answered my question. And all I could do was laugh. Happiness is freedom. And I say that every day and live it. That is the truth. The old you from who you are right now. And the old you wasn't that bad. But if you really didn't know you back in the day, you would think you was the meanest person in the world. But once, if you ever get to know Lori the way we know Lori, Lori is one of the most sweetest, loving people you will probably meet. Especially now. Now, back then, probably a different story, but especially now. But that's true. You have to decide, hey, I'm going to be happy. Why? Not because my mother did what I wanted her to do, or my father did what I wanted him to do, my boyfriend, my husband, my wife, whatever. No, I'm going to be happy because I realize that my happiness is something that is mine. And one thing that Lori said, and I just want to use a different approach to it. She says that, people say I'm not going to let the devil steal my joy or whatever, but the truth of the matter is the devil came to steal it, but he really can't steal it. He comes and he presents things that will either do one thing, make you resist, or make you give it away to him. Like if you driving and you get into a car accident, and before you got in a car accident you was happy, but you get into this car accident and now you end up allowing yourself to get sad or angry or whatever the case may be. You just now gave your happiness away. Yeah. The car accident didn't necessarily take your happiness, even though it would have been justified about you being angry or sad or whatever about the car accident. Just because it's justifiable don't mean that it should be applicable. That's the word, applicable. Don't mean that. So just because she does something that I don't like, it might be justifiable for me to get upset, but it don't mean I have to get upset. If I choose to get upset, it's the same way as me choosing to not get upset, which means if I choose to get upset, it takes me out my happy place. So guess what? Happiness is a choice, because all I had to do was just choose to not get upset, and I would have chose happiness over getting upset. So a lot of times when you become unhappy for whatever reason, you gave that happiness over. It wasn't taken. That's really, I want to say that's what I believe, but that's almost a fact right there. Like, you gave that thing over. I'm reminded of, and I don't know why I always use her as, and I don't know why I don't see her on the show, but I'm reminded of my sister Denise, how she had a huge choice to make when she lost her teenage son to cancer. Like, we literally was like planning what we was going to do for Christmas, and me and him was talking about football season and basketball season one week, and then the next week we in the hospital with the doctors telling us how many days he had left. And she did better than me, and this is her son, and she had to make a choice on, okay, am I going to allow this to tear me down as I have seen it tear down so many other people, even on a lesser playing field, or am I going to choose this opportunity to say, you know what, I'm still going to maintain my happiness. And she maintained her happiness and still maintaining her happiness till this day, and like, I always use her as an example because, one thing you have to understand, like when you look at other people and you see them deal through stuff that Lord knows it would give them a justification to at least have a season or a moment or something to just be sad and depressed or whatever. You know, people say give them your time, let them have their time to grieve and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is, you don't have to grieve just because it's justifiable. And I'm going to be honest, I have yet to see this woman grieve. I don't live with her, but I have yet to see her grieve. I have never, if I didn't know any better, I would have never thought that this happened to her. So, and I said that to say this, you can choose however you want to respond to whatever it is that happens in your life. And it's definitely a practice. It's definitely a practice. My thing and my suggestion to you is, because I want to be more practical as well on the show, we always talked about on last season about what you could do to make things better and things like that. But this season, we want to give you suggestions on how to actually do it versus what to do. So one way on how to create your happy space is, for one, clean it out. Everybody don't need to be in your life. Everybody don't need to be your friend on Facebook. Everybody don't need to be your friend on Instagram. Everybody don't need to be, you don't have to talk to everybody every day. You don't have to spend hours on the phone with certain people every day. Clean your space out first. Yeah. This is how you clean your space out. You look over your life and everybody who you allow access to your life in certain ways and ask yourself, are they an asset or are they a liability? Do they serve a purpose in my life, or all they do is just take? And family, friends, whoever, even sometimes spouses, if all they doing is taking, and they don't add no type of value to your life, it is time for them to go. That's the first step. Now, the second step is keeping them gone. Because a lot of times, most of your temptations to not be happy are being done by somebody that you're allowing to be into your life. Most of the time, your temptations to be unhappy is coming from unhappy people that you allow access to yourself. So just try it, and I wish y'all can get up here on Thursdays to our physical location for Mind, Body, and Soul, because during then we're going to be more intense about the practical things that you have to do, and we're going to actually start putting them into motion, and we're going to actually be giving guarantees on little exercises that we're going to ask people to do from Thursday to Thursday, and guarantee that from one Thursday to the next, you will get results. But I just want to plug that in. Mind, Body, and Soul, this Thursday will be the first one, and it is, we give y'all the details at the end of the show. But if you can get there, I promise you, y'all better meet me at Garners Ferry Road, Walmart. Meet me there at 5 o'clock, and we will usher you guys to the building where we are going to be at. It's going to be awesome. That won't be live. So for those of you who think you're going to be watching it live, it won't be live. But I'm going to give y'all some snippets probably to let y'all see how things went. I know it's going to be great.
Yeah, Laurie, I agree. Clean it out and clean it up. Because like David was saying, you ever went someplace and like as soon as you seen somebody, like, oh man, like, it just messed up your whole day, or you just felt like, this person, you see a number on your phone, you're like, man, like it just messed your whole spirits up. Those are the people, or maybe, that you should probably try to wean yourself away from, because if a person can allow you to change the way you feel in that moment, then maybe that's somebody that has a little bit too much influence on you. And so maybe even just if it's for a period of time until you get to a place to where you can tolerate them,
that's right.
Then you might want to do that, like Lori said, clean it up.
That's right. Clean out. And not only that, cleaning out from people, but some people need to clean their house too. Yeah. Like, clean your dwelling place. If you younger and you don't have your own house, clean your room. Yeah. Like, I don't know about you, but I just can't think straight in a whole bunch of junk and mess and clutter. You would be surprised how effective a clean area is and a clean space is. You know what I mean? You would be surprised. Sometimes I remember I used to go just to be by myself and to just not to have nothing around. I would go and rent a hotel suite somewhere and just sit. Just to be alone, you know what I mean? Sometimes go out by the water, sit by, I love going by the water, especially the ocean, and listen to the ocean and listen to God speak. Like, these are some things you can do. I'm telling you, it works. Go running. I used to go running. That works. Go swimming. That works. Exercise in any form sometimes relaxes us and cleans our mind out and creates this place of happiness. Yeah. So, there are so many things you can do.
And every therapeutic, thing does work for the next person. Like for me, for instance, I might need to go read a book or something, and like David need to go for a jog or something like that. So in order, whatever you gotta do to keep yourself happy, you need to do it. Like he said earlier by any means necessary. You know.
Right.
Sharnique had a question, and she said, "How do you know you're happy and not lusting on someone?" And then at the end, she said, "But you feel happy." And so I think, Sharnique, you're talking about in relationships, but we're actually talking about happiness within yourself, like internal happiness, you know. And I think answer to your question though, you said, how do you know if you're happy and not lusting on someone, but you feel happy? So if that person does something that you don't like, are you still going to be happy? You know, and then so that's the true meaning of happiness. Can another person dictate to you how you feel about, you know, you being happy?
Right.
Yeah.
Happiness, like I said, happiness is something that you have to choose. If you allow somebody else to dictate what you're going to be happy about or not happy about, then guess what? You just gave your happiness over to that person. But now, as far as you know, in relationship standpoint, you know, if I'm trying to answer the question correctly on what she's saying, like happiness and lusting is kind of not different from each other, because if you lust after something, then that means that particular thing, you believe at least, is going to make you happy. You know what I mean? So let's say, for instance, if I lust after another woman or whatever, I believe that woman, for whatever reason I'm lusting after, if it's just to see her naked, if it's just to be with her sexually, if it's just to date her and take her to the movies, if it's just to have conversation with her on the phone, whatever my reason for lusting after her, it in some form or fashion, it's because I think that it's going to make me happy. You know what I mean? Now, how would you know whether or not it's going to make you happy? Is whether or not you engage, or whether or not, you know, you actually involve yourself with that. And if you do involve yourself with that and it makes you happy, then guess what? That's probably where you're going to spend most of your time. And that's probably where you're going to spend, if you want to stay in that happy place and that's what you feel made you go there, that's probably what you're going to end up doing. But the most healthiest way to find happiness is to find happiness and pursue happiness and choose happiness yourself, so that whether or not you see someone else or don't see someone else, or whether or not you lust after someone else or whatever, blah, 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 you can still be happy. You know what I mean? So I hope that answered it. You know, not only for you, but a lot of other people have these type of questions too, Shawnee, that may never ask. So in you asking these questions, it helps people. What else we got?
That's funny. So Terrence says, go through your contacts in your phone and delete some people
out of it. That's right.
Yeah, and Lori said, I got them saved under don't answer and no negative vibes needed.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, like we said, whatever works for you. You know, sometimes you gotta do that. You know, in order to keep your mind in that place. Yeah. You know,
I'm gonna be honest. There's certain days of the week that I don't answer for certain people. It's certain times of the day, or it's certain seasons. Like, it depends on what's going on that week for me or that day for me on whether or not I talk to particular people. Like, I'm just not picking up my phone just because, oh, they called. I'm just going to pick my phone up. Oh, they text me. Oh, let me hurry up and text back. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, you know, if I don't respond to, and a lot of the viewers, people who are watching, if I don't respond to you, don't take offense. It just means that during that day, I'm in a place that you're not welcome at that particular time. And I don't have time to no, that was the right question, Shawnee. You asked a very good question. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I was in a place where I just didn't have time for it, you know what I mean? And then there's other times where you know certain people well enough to know when and why they're calling. Certain people, like Lori said, you might as well go ahead and put their names under foolishness, do not answer, pettiness, and all of that. So you just automatically know, you know what I mean? So and I've been telling a lot of people that's real close to me, like especially my wife, like, we gotta monitor what we intake, because people, another thing, what you look at on TV, the videos y'all think that's harmless that y'all watching on the internet, on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of that, these stuff affect your state of being. It affects your mind. It affects the movies you watch. Like, too much of anything, first of all, is not good. So if you wake up in the daytime and the first thing you do is jump on social media, you have fueled your space with foolishness from Jump Street. So it's just like breakfast with the body. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is eating something unhealthy, then guess what? Your body is going to start to take a toll because of that. But if you start your day off right with a good, nice, wholesome breakfast or whatever, then chances are if you continue to do that, then that's going to promote healthy living, and then it's going to show up in the way you look. It's going to show up in the energy you have throughout the day. It's going to show up in the way you treat other people. That's just like when you wake up in the morning, start your day off with praying to God, Lord, today is going to be a blessed day. Now, you said that I can speak it, and if I speak it, I can have it. I believe it. This is what I'm speaking. So today will be a good day for me. And guess what? You can walk right outside the house. As soon as you walk outside the house, you see somebody bust at your window and went inside your car. And guess what you say to yourself? You know what, Lord? I just told you today was going to be a good day. I didn't say everything in it was going to be good, but I said it was going to be a good day, and it's still going to be a good day. And you got something to draw on. So let's say when you get your car fixed and all of that stuff, you drive to work and your boss say you fired. I know this is a lot, people, but you still can say, this is a good day. It is not going to be a bad day for me. I'm going to let this be a good day. And what that simply means is there is nothing that is going to happen in this day that I am going to allow to happen in me. So even though bad things is happening in the world, it is not going to happen in me. So I am going to choose to be happy regardless of what's going on. And if you live that way, nothing in your life seems like you're a victim. It always seems like you're overcoming and you're always moving forward.
Yeah. I was laughing at Anita's comment. She said, "Not at first."
What?
Like that's your first response is gonna be a good day after you see your car burn.
Oh yeah.
But I just want to say, our words have power. Our words have significant power. And so even if in that moment you wake up and you feel like today just might not be a good day, you need to say it anyway. Because when we say things enough, we will make ourselves believe that what we say is true. And so once we believe what we say is true, then we will begin to act on what we believe is true. And so I think practicing with your words, just saying it out loud and not just thinking it in your head, because sometimes when you hear yourself say something, it brings on a different meaning. And so if I say I am going to be happy today, or I am happy today, because it's already done. I am happy today. Then you will begin to feel what you say, and believe what you say, and therefore your day will be happy because you are happy.
That's right. Let's shift the conversation real quick more over to the section in which Shanique was trying to go to. And ladies, this is going to help y'all out, but I know a lot of y'all probably wouldn't agree, but I'm going to believe and bless that when y'all hear truth, y'all will depend on it, and y'all rely on it. Guys, the few that might be out there watching, I need y'all to understand this, because this is very key. It goes both ways. There was a time in my marriage where I was not being faithful. And by not being faithful, for those of you who rode the short bus, I was cheating on my wife. And by cheating on my wife, for those of you who rode the short bus, I was sleeping with another woman. So with that being said, she knew about it. But from her reactions to the way she treated me and the way our home was, she never displayed that in no way, shape, form, or fashion, which had me puzzled. I was like, what in the world is going on? So anyways, after that situation was rectified and things like that or whatever, and God, through his grace and mercy and love and through her compassion and through her forgiveness and all of that good stuff, he allowed us to get past that rough patch, and we ended up where we are right now and have been happy for years now. But I asked her just recently, not too long ago, I said, what made you stay after all of those years? And not only what made you stay, but what made you, why you never looked sad? Why you never looked down? Why it was an argument every time I came in the house? Why you still cook for me every day? Why you still was able to pick the kids up? Well, I picked the kids up from school. But why you was able to be a mother to your kids? Why you was able to not play victim? Why you was able to, whatever. I asked her, how was you able to do that? And this was her response. How was you able to do that?
Oh, you asked
Yeah,
me?
I'm
I thought
good.
you
Tell
were
them what
saying.
you told me.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier in the beginning of the show, like I literally had to dismiss that situation from my head. Like sometimes you have to literally and the thing is, I knew who David was. I knew who David was as my husband. I knew who David was as the man that I married. And because he did not so good, a bad act, because he did that, that did not define who he was as a person. That didn't take away, patting him on the back or encouraging that type of behavior, but that didn't change who he was to me, and if I decided to let go of everything that we built because of a mistake that he made, you know what I mean? Like, I think I would have been doing more damage than he probably would have had done, to me. And that's just my take on it. I mean, my answer was, you know what? That's what he did. That's not who he is. Period.
So I want to ask, how was you able to still stay happy though? That's the thing. Like, how was you able to say, I'm not going to even let that bother me, even if you would have left? Because there was a time where you was going to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you would have left, like, how was you able to say, I'm going to leave, but I'm leaving happy? You know what I mean? Or I'm going to stay, but I'm staying happy. How was you able to stay in that happy place?
Because I stayed in a happy place because it was a choice that I made. I said I'm not gonna, allow my situation to change how I feel and react out of that because, I would have been depressed or I would have been bound or because of the situation, and I felt like that I didn't want to be a prisoner, in that situation, and so I chose, like Lori said earlier, I chose freedom and freedom within myself, and so I think that even helped to heal our relationship,
And let me tell y'all this too, and she don't go in my phone. She don't try to look and see what my passwords are. She don't require having my password on social media. Yeah. She don't look at my text messages. She do have access to my bank account. She do have access to she do have access to my email. You know what I mean? So, and I said all that to say this, because if you know you're not ready to make change, then why you invite stuff in your happy space? Like, don't look in his phone if you ain't gonna leave if you find something you don't like, because now you're just making yourself miserable. Don't go in his email if you find something you don't like and you know you're not gonna leave. I'm just giving advice. Don't go following him when he leave the house, or don't go pulling up on his job when he told you he got to work late and all of that stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So these are the things that would interfere with your space. Now, if you're going to do that and you find, let's say you go on his phone and you see that he texting another girl or whatever the case may be, and you going in the phone because you know if you see that you're going to leave, then by all means, do what you got to do to get your proof so you can leave. But if you know you're going to stay, then don't. Why? For what? For what? All you're doing is messing up your happy space and your happy place. Because if a man, speaking from experience, if a man is going to step outside of a commitment that he made to a woman, the fact that she know about it is not going to stop him from doing it. So if you looking inside the phone just to say, oh, look, I know now, so you can stop, that's not going to make him stop. So all you're doing is just messing yourself up. I saw a good question I wanted to address.
Nita,
yeah, Nita. She said, but how do you deal with the ones looking on the outside judging your decision? Wait. First of all, ain't nobody was looking on the outside, because I don't cheat messy. Nobody knew who she was. Nobody else knew. I know, I'm just messing with her. But see, one thing, and not saying that it's a good way to lie or it's a good way to do what I did. I'm not saying that in no way, shape, form, or fashion. But what I am saying is, in this case, one, Nika don't associate herself with nobody too much. Y'all, for those of you who are her friend, you have been her friend since she was in grade school. So that's the first thing. For those of you who are her friend after she became an adult, you are very lucky, because she literally, I can count on one hand the adult friends that she have. So with that being said, it really wasn't a thing where she had people that could have been like, oh, she don't even know he doing that, or everybody knew about it and they were saying, well, how could you stay? To be honest, a lot of people, family and friends, are literally just hearing about this right now. And this is why we decided to do this show, is so we can bring light to situations like this, having gone through it. having gone through the experience. Like I said, we are not talking about stuff that we just pulling out of the air. This is stuff that we went through. You understand what I'm saying? And I choose not to be like most people who have done what I did and have gotten forgiveness. I choose not to be that guy to not share it and tell people, to let them know, there is life after mistakes. And I made a vow to God that, God, whatever you allow me to go through, I will definitely use that to help your people who have gone through the same thing, or to prevent them from going. So when we decided to make the show, we decided, hey, look, babe, we got to be transparent if we're going to do this. Because if not, we're going to be just like anybody else who's just up here trying, doing certain things.
Oh, yeah.
So I would love for you to address her. And now with the people that might look now and be like, oh, he cheated, and all of that, like it's such a big deal or whatever. And now people might be looking. Now the people might start judging and saying, whatever about the decision she made or whatever the case may be. But in the end, the results will follow and are following that she did make the right decision by staying. But because we're like this and we're so strong, knitted together, and because we don't allow anybody on the outside to interfere with our inside space, that's why we don't mind sharing whatever on here, because we're so tight until nothing that we share on here, people can come back and try to use against us, because we check it at the door. Like that lady said on Scared Straight. We looking for y'all. We waiting for y'all. We waiting at the door with the neck to the side, waiting for y'all at the door. So go ahead, speak on that.
So Nita, you said, how do you deal with people looking on the outside and judging? So like, I'm a people person. Always have been. I think that's what I'm always gonna be. David is not a people person. I mean, when I say that, I mean a people pleasing person. Like he doesn't really care too much about people's opinions and stuff like that, which I do, and you know that about me, Anita. But I think for me, I really literally had to say, this is our circle, and me and David always said, Nika, it's me and you against the world, period. And I had to actually practice that. We had to put that into practice, because it's me and you. And at the end of the day, everybody else who's talking against whatever your decision is, everybody else who's, telling you leave or whatever, or even the own thoughts in your own head, you know what I mean? Like, and feeding, watching Dr. Phil and, feeding yourself with all these
Right.
things that are, kind of, making that grow inside of you. Yeah, and doing that is only going to make you think that the situation is way worse than what it is,
Mm-hmm.
And I can honestly say that through that period of our marriage, David always treated me, I never felt like I was the second person or whoever else. I always felt like I was number one, and I know, and so I think that, to give him a little bit of credit in that, like, I never felt like I was lacking, and so I knew at the end of the day, Anita, that we were going to come out of this, because I knew the man that God had promised me, and I knew who David was from the day we got married, prior to us getting married. And so it really didn't matter to me as much how people thought about what he did, because I knew David, and I knew the God in David, and I knew that the man that I married was the man that God was going to continue to allow me to see grow, and I knew that once we went through this storm, this situation, it was going to make us better, and we would be able to share this amongst the masses like we're doing now.
Oh man, that is deep, y'all.
Yeah.
I've been having a moment all week. She about to make me have another one. But yeah, man, that's beautiful, guys. I like I said, now y'all understand. Like, a lot of people, I had so many people inbox me or even comment on posts like, I love the way you promote your wife. I love the way you represent your wife. I love the way you always posting stuff about her on social media, and you're not embarrassed to let the world know that she is the fuel that pushes you, and she thrives, and like, you would be nothing without her, because that's honest, that's the truth, man. I ain't saying that to make her feel good. Like, that is really the truth. I can't make this stuff up. And for those of you who knew how I was and who I was before her, y'all know I would probably have been dead already or something if God, through her, did not, first of all, God came into my life, and then he made it make sense for me and her to come together. If it wasn't for that, like, I'd probably been dead, like, literally. Like, I've seen myself dying several times. So, And once again, she chose to go to that happy space, and she chose to say, you know what, this says that I shouldn't be happy, but I choose to be happy. You know what I mean? And like I said, there were times where she was going to leave, but she was leaving happy. This is the thing. I'm not saying everybody should stay with a person if they cheat on them or whatever, and you should always forgive, blah, blah, blah. Notice, one, she said God showed her that I was still that man. So God, that's the first thing, is God. And then notice that she said that she kept seeing that God. And she also said that she never felt like she was number two, or that I always made sure she was okay, or whatever the case may be. That don't give me a pass. That's just saying if one act or an act doesn't take away from a person's entire being. You know, and that's just like how God is with us. Like if we commit a sin, but it's not in our nature to commit that sin, then he don't hold us accountable for that one sin that we committed. Are we going to be judged for that sin? Of course we are, but we're not going to be held accountable. That sin will not be riding on our back. That sin cannot stop us from moving forward with the things he has for us. That sin does not disqualify us from being used by him. That sin does not disqualify us from entering into his kingdom, but we will be judged for it. So, said all that to say this. If you are going to be happy, if happiness means staying, stay. If happiness means leaving, leave. But choose to be happy. And I know for me, like I couldn't live and be in a relationship with somebody where I always have to know what time they coming back home. I have to know where they going when they leave. I have to check their phones every time. I have to look at call logs. I have to if a girl like his picture too many times on social media, I'm gonna be in her inbox. Why you liking my man inbox? Like that's not happy for me. Like how could you do that? That's like that's not happy. You know what I mean? And then even with breakups, when I had my first heartbreak, I noticed that when I would sit and listen to my Purple Rain CD. I'm a huge Prince fan. I listen to these love songs and these sad songs, Tony Braxton, all of this stuff like that. It made me keep feeling sad over and over and over and over again. But when I started listening to songs that said differently, that you can overcome this, but back in the day I was listening to songs that was totally different from that. But listening to Trick Daddy and them boys after my first heartbreak, listening to Jay-Z, song Cry, stuff like that or whatever, that make me sad. But pop into something else, then even the music you listen to can dictate how you feel. This is what the artist of the song was trying to do. It was trying to get the listeners to live in that moment that they were in, the good ones, and it creates that mood. So at the end of the day, you have to be careful even on the music that you listen to. You have to be careful with the movies that you watch. If you feeling sad, don't go and play sad songs, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to cause you to stay in that moment. If you feeling happy and you want to stay happy, play Pharrell song, Happy. I'll never forget, man, it puzzled me because I grew up around older people and old school preachers too. And they used to make me feel like they listened to gospel songs when they making love to their wife. And I was like, I know this cannot be, because I love music and I know what music is and what it does. So if you want to create an atmosphere, and this is going on to another topic, but if you want to create an atmosphere for love making to take place in your home, then you have to do things that's going to set that atmosphere. So, and we're spilling over into other conversations, but play some music around the house, some sexy music around the house. Play some music that's talking about love making, and play some music that's talking about half on a baby, if that's what you're trying to do. Play some music about that, man, and then you see how the thing goes and that's the same with your happiness. Do the things and keep the things around you that is going to promote and that's going to make it easier for you to stay in that happy place. You still want to have to choose it for yourself, but don't make your job hard by allowing people in your space that you know is going to make it tough. Yeah. Lori says, go ahead, you want to read that? I'm not even responding to Lori this time.
Lori said, there was a time I wanted to hit you in the head with a rock, David. Woo. But God made you a great man, so I gave you a pass. Go big cuz Lori, boy.
And look, y'all, and let me tell y'all something. Mostly everybody watching know Lori, so y'all know she probably would have did it too. But that's crazy, Lauren. Why do you want to hit me with? I'm telling Aunt Red. She would have told you all. Well, you hit him in the head. Well, you hit him in the head with that pretty
She also says it takes two to stay strong.
Right,
I'll
right.
fight with you, not for you with someone else.
Right.
Just a little saying I will always use in future relationships. And if I don't get that in return, I'm gone. Bye, I gotta go. Yeah, that's true. I'll fight with you, not for you with someone else. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight over you with somebody else. Yeah.
That's why I said Anita. Like, I'm like, my father used to say, I know, he was like, where y'all come from or where y'all been at, when he used to try to get in me and Nika business and all that. So sometimes we pull in the yard. My dad, remember, he used to always say, that don't sound like I'm coming up the rough side of the mountain, but y'all playing out there. So we would pull in the yard, we be playing R&B songs, whatever the case may be. And my dad would check us as soon as we walk in the house. Where y'all coming from? That don't sound like I'm coming up the rough side of the mountain playing out there. And it was just funny because I'm like, do he really want me to believe that? I ain't even trying to think about that. But anyways, yeah, so yeah, it's crazy.
So Tasha said, y'all do baptisms? I want to be dipped.
Yep, we sure do. I can actually baptize. I baptize you. We going to the river though. I don't like to do it in the pool. Like I said, I'm more of a people say I be trying to be too deep and stuff like that. But the reason why I would rather baptize or would only baptize in the river is because one, that's the way it has always been done, even from the beginning of time. And two, you in the river, it's always running. It's always live, living water. You know what I mean? So it's constantly fresh water coming through that river or whatever the case may be. And that's just the real symbolic thing. I believe that the things here on earth and the spirit that dwells within us was designed to connect us to the world by which the spirit that was in us created. So, with that being said, if you really want a spiritual transformation or a spiritual cleansing, then you have to connect to the thing that the spirit in you helped create, which is the river and the waters. You take your behind into that river that's living, that's lively. You get dipped down in that river. You go down with all that all that spiritual filth. You go down in that spiritual filth, and then that spiritual filth that you had is being rinsed and washed down or up the stream, all the way away into the fresh ocean, whatever the case may be. It's being washed away, and you coming up new. Now, if you go inside of a tub, especially a lot of times you go in that tub, about 10 people done got baptized right before your eyes. So now you getting dipped inside they dirt. I ain't knocking nobody who do tubs. Y'all do what work for y'all, I do what work for me. But you getting dipped inside of everybody else's spiritual stuff. Because I know they ain't draining that water for each person they dipping. So this is why I prefer the river. That's just my choice. But yes, if you want to get baptized, God saw fit. I still think it's the biggest joke that I have ever witnessed. But he saw fit to grace me with his spirit and to allow me to be an ordained elder of the church. And I still think it's hilarious that he chose me. So those of you who laughing at me, and some of y'all might be laughing with me, I think it's funny too. But he has graced me to do so. So I do have, the spiritual means and the natural means to be able to baptize. If you want to be baptized, if you want me to perform your wedding ceremonies, if you want me to do your eulogies, I do have, with the grace of my pastor, of course, I do have the privilege to do so. So yeah, let me see what else we have.
Tijuana says, what you hear as well as what you say does have an impact on your happiness.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right. Go ahead. You want to say something about that? I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. I was just saying today, and I made a conscious decision not too long ago, y'all. Like I said, this thing really has came back to my remembrance, but it came back with such a force that I'm feeding myself with everything that's going to make me stay in my happy place. I'm choosing happiness. I'm not getting up doing anything other than pursuing happiness. This morning when I woke up, I didn't feel as enthused as I did last night when I went to sleep. But I put on that enthusiasm, and I jumped up and said, today this is going to be this, that is going to be that, blah, 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 blah. And I start listening to things and searching for things that I know I could hear that would make me stay in that place. I start praying and listening to music and listening to myself, and even going back to things that I've wrote down before that were positive sayings and thoughts. I actually saw a video that she posted earlier, I think, with her and her sister. No, that wasn't her. Yeah, okay, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I had to check that. But yeah, so you just gotta have to find that place. You have to find that place and stay there, and it takes time.
Yeah.
Where else we at? Where we at? Hallelujah, glory. Okay, yeah. So it is 8 o'clock, guys, and I guess that's probably when you get no more questions. Y'all can squeeze some questions in during the announcements. We probably can address them after the announcements. If y'all got any questions or other comments, any announcements on here I need to put in? What is that? Okay, nothing. Okay, look, we got a few more announcements. Mind, Body, and Soul, guys. This Thursday, the first one. This Thursday, Mind, Body, and Soul is going down. It is. Y'all meet us. For those of you who don't have access, y'all meet us at the Walmart that Shanique Desant works at. The Walmart on Garnish Ferry Road in Columbia, South Carolina. Meet us there at 5 o'clock, and we will all ride to the site together. The reason why it's like this is because it is on a military base, and everybody doesn't have access to the military base. It's a reason why we did it there. You will learn that in the future as well. Like I said, God is moving, and now in this season, I'm just crazy enough to start believing Him now. Or should I say I've been graced enough to start believing Him now. And the doors that He has opened, I am going, and we are walking in those doors like never before. Meet us at Garnish Ferry Road Walmart in Columbia, South Carolina. If you're coming from Sumter, once you hit on 378, keep going straight. You run right into it while you enter into Columbia. If you're coming from the Elgin area, once you get off of 77, Highway 77, you get off on exit 9, follow all signs pointing to Garnish Ferry Road, and you'll see it right there on your left-hand side. If you're coming from over at West Columbia, once you get off of 26 and you hop on the 77 going towards Charlotte, you get off of exit 9, it's right there. So, and those of you who do have access to the base, you can meet us 4679 Lee Road, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. The hour that we will be starting is at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock sharp. I know we stumble on here a little bit late or whatever because we're actually, online and we're sitting in our living room doing this. But when you are doing things, especially when it's military time, you need to be there 20 minutes early is on time. So we start at 6 o'clock sharp. We need you guys to meet us at Garnish Ferry Walmart at 5. Be there at 5 o'clock. If you are not there at 5 o'clock, then we will see you at 4679 Lee Road, Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And once you get on, and once you if you know you're going to actually be a regular and coming, we can get you temporary access to the base on Thursdays, every Thursday. So you won't have to continue to meet us, at Garnish Ferry Walmart, because some may be coming in a little late or whatever the case may be. I know 6 o'clock is the hour, where people probably just be getting in from work, whatever. I don't know what y'all cases may be, but if you're going to be coming in a little late, you might want to get that temporary pass. So Mind, Body, and Soul, people, the flyers are all over Facebook. If y'all share these flyers, please let people know about them. Even if you can't make it, let people know, because other people might be in the area and might want to come. Let them know. And Lori, don't worry, because we got something else that's coming up soon, for people who can't get on base and for people that have that 8 o'clock schedule.
And you say it's 8 o'clock now. It's time for the show to end.
Okay. I thought she was talking about I couldn't come on base.
No.
All right, don't worry about that then. Oh yeah, I know it's 8 o'clock, Lori, but all good things must come to an end. But it was another comment she put that we didn't read.
Oh, few are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen.
Oh yeah, that's Bible there.
Thank you, Lori. Love you.
4679 Lee Road, Fort Jackson at 6 o'clock. These sessions are going to last from 6 to 7. Like I said, these sessions, what they're designed to do is designed to teach you how to transform your mind, discipline your body and rejuvenate your soul. And what we mean by that is, first of all, we want to get people to start thinking differently about who they are, or to think better, or to think more of, like if you're already thinking good about who you are, we want to magnify that. We want to boost that up. You know what I mean? And we also want to help people in various areas of their life. Like, I don't know it all, so we have counselors on standby. I'm a counselor, of course, but even still being a counselor, I don't know everything. Counselors on standby. We have pastors on standby. We have male and female. We have the body part is we're on a base. We have access to gyms. We have access to pools for swimming, on and off base. We also have nutritionists that can give you meal plans, do evaluations, and see, because everybody needs to be on different diets. If you're trying to lose a certain amount of weight by a particular time, we will actually, and these are certified, licensed, master degree people that we're talking about. We're not talking about people who just made a business card and said, this is who I am. We have physical trainers. We have physical trainers on standby. And now with the physical trainers, some of them are certified, and then we also have some that may be joining on later, that when you see the workout routine, or when you see the way they have their bodies in shape, you would actually know that whatever it is they're doing or did works. You know what I mean? So that's the only place that's kind of like, out there. But other than that, everybody else, the counselors, the therapists will be licensed. The pastors, for those of you who want prayer, will definitely be licensed and ordained. The nutritionists will definitely be licensed, certified. What else?
I just want to say, during these sessions, sessions,
I know. I just want to let them know what it's going to be like. Go ahead.
During these sessions, this year I know a lot of you guys will be coming off of work, from a long day of work. We will have light refreshments during these sessions too. So you want to make sure that we're gonna have some little not really too light, but enough to keep you going and keep you energized during this.
Right. Social workers. Richard, we're gonna have social workers. Who else? We love you, Tony. See you soon.
Love you.
Yeah. So, like I said, I just wanted to give you an idea of what's going to be taking place. You know what I mean? There will be times where we may spend a session, or maybe another day that's not during the session, but another day where we will meet and we will go to the gym. Another day we'll meet and we will go swimming. Another day where we will meet and we will. And it's also going to be times for us when we want to do things, cleanse our spirit and things like that, where we may do a fast, maybe a 4 or 5 hour fast a day, or for those of you who all about that fasting life, we can go a day or maybe 2 days, whatever the case may be. But what the intent is, we want to cater to the whole man, the total man. We don't want to just give you Bible knowledge or scripture knowledge, or we don't want to just do that. We also want to give you some practical things and ways in which you can help yourself here. So if we can get the mind to start thinking differently and things like that, and then once you transform your mind, then you can use your mind to discipline your body. That's where the exercising comes in. That's where the nutrition comes in and things like that. And then once you get your mind to transform your body, then you'll rejuvenate your soul and you'll start feeling good from the inside out. And that will enhance your spirit, and your spirit will enhance the total man. So that's our aim, that's our objective. We believe in God for it. Like I said, this is stuff that we have already put into action ourselves in our own lives, and it is working. So it all works together, and it's going to be blessed. So we're looking to see you guys there. Anything else you want to say before we go? So, okay, anyways, before we close, this is something that we decided that we was going to do at the end of every show. We want to extend, for anybody who do not know Jesus Christ as their Lord and personal Savior, we want to extend that opportunity to you. And by doing so, I just want to give you a brief description of who he is in my life and what I know he can be in your life. He's everything good that has brought me to a place to where I see the world more clearly now, and I also see who I am more clearly now. Help me to understand that what I am on the outside and the world that I live in does not define who I am on the inside and what he has designed me to be. He also helped me understand that the same spirit that allows me to live irregardless to what's going on the outside of me is the same spirit that he used to create everything on the outside of me. Therefore, I am a part of everything that's on the outside of me, which means that if I'm a part of it, then I'm never a victim. I'm always a solution. And not only that, he allowed me to have access to God, more importantly, for myself. Access to him for myself. So I want to extend this opportunity to you. It doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect from this day forward. It just simply means that you're acknowledging that Christ is your Lord and Savior. You want him to come and illuminate your life and give you the spirit that causes you to live on purpose, and give you the spirit that causes you to be more than you ever thought you could be, forgiveness for your sins, and a clean walk to be prosperous. We want to extend this to you guys. And for those of you who are still not quite sure on what accepting Christ is, inbox me. I can break that down to you. I can give you sermons, and I can give you books and scriptures and even things that I've learned myself on how, because I can't really put it all into a box right here on this small segment. But this is the segment where we want to ask whoever is looking to look at us on the camera and just say this simple prayer. Just say, Jesus, I believe you died for my sins. I want you to reveal yourself to me as the one who died for my sins. I want you to come into my life, and I want you to have control. I want to do your will. I want to be filled with your spirit so that I can know exactly who I am and what you would have me to do and be while I'm here in this world. And if you pray that prayer and you believe it, I guarantee you are saved. So, amen. And we thank you guys for watching. God, we thank you for yet another show, and we ask that you continue to enlarge our territory and continue to build our platform and continue to allow your spirit and your presence and your grace to be shown through us and in us, and allow us to be better representatives of who you are in this earth every day of our life. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, until next Monday, you guys, y'all be safe over the 4th of July, and we will see you guys again next week. Love you.
Love you. Good night.